6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Through Black and White Eyes. Got a few little buzzy bees around me tonight. Can't get the settings right. But glad to be back. It's been a while. I'm absolutely knackered. Just got back from work, but made it in time for tonight's show. Finally getting another one done. I've got PDP in the background. I've got James. Mike might be joining us later on. Obviously, Steve's bottling it because Newcastle are fourth, and he doesn't want to talk about a team that's actually winning and not spending all that oil money that he said we would. It's very, very enjoyable at the moment. Let's get the usual crap out the way. We've hit the subscribe button if you are new to the channel. Hit the membership button. Links at the top of the chat if you want to. Don't forget, PDP does this show every other Tuesday, so please check out his channel. He's also got some great stuff on there. And James has also got his own channel. The West Ham stuff is absolutely fantastic. The Anvil. So please check it out. West Ham are doing all right in Europe. Shit in the league, though, which we will discuss very, very soon. Let's bring PDP in first. How we doing, pal?
All right. Just a word of warning, Baz. When we get to the Liverpool game, I might find it hard to keep a bit of a straight face at the moment.
It's a shame Steve's not here as well, isn't it?
Well, it was. It's not just that. It's because I don't know if you checked out mine and John's show the other night.
No, I missed it, I'm afraid.
We came up with a new name for Jurgen Klopp.
All right, we'll save it for the game when it comes around. I'll enjoy this. James is. We're going to find out where James is eating tonight. What are we eating, James?
We got a bit of a mix, actually. We got Eastern European and we got pasta because I'm really starving, and there were two things in the fridge that I wanted, and I hadn't eaten in about 15 hours, so that's why I'm starving.
Brilliant, 15 hours, Jesus! I've just nailed a pizza, so I went Italian tonight.
Oh yeah, it looks so sweet.
It was quick in the oven. It's quick down the throat. It's just what you want, isn't it?
Yeah.
And if I was the last saying that, everyone would be thinking something different. There's the link if you want to become a member tonight. Good evening, Toon fans. Let's have it. Good evening, Mark. Evening, Les. Mark says, I've just come back from a wedding in Southampton. Should have stayed the week for the next game, but sadly got to work. 2-0 for us on Sunday. You should have stayed down there, mate. Sod work. Who gives a shit about work at the moment? Mick says, all right, lads. Evening, Blade. Can't wait to get you guys back on as well. It's been, things have been crazy. Evening, Lee. Evening, Baz and PD says Kevin. Evening, all says Tom. Jurgen Flop.
Oh, that's not the name.
No, I'm looking forward to this.
Morgul might have some comments there coming in about it if he's still watching.
Oh, he will be watching. He's always around. So, yeah, I haven't been on for a while because, I decided to get absolutely trolleyed on Friday. Met Kevin Keegan. Unbelievable. Not what I expected, but unbelievable.
It's from my ends.
Yeah. Lost my phone.
My dad's mum actually worked at the school that he attended and was actually served Kevin Keegan his dinners.
Class. In Darlington?
No, in Doncaster.
In Doncaster.
Macaulay Catholic High School.
That's what I meant. Doncaster. Yeah. Here we go. No, Kevin. It has something to do with you. All right. Okay. We're going to save it for then. Evening all and evening Anvil, says Kevin. Yes, I lost my phone on Friday, but it's getting posted back to me tomorrow or Thursday. So I've been very lucky. Somehow I managed to lose my phone, but I came home with 3 Kevin Keegan prints. Fantastic. From a nightclub, still had them. Unbelievable work. But we're here to talk about the Premier League results. So we'll talk about. I didn't really get to see much of Saturday, to be honest with you, because I was that trolleyed. I literally woke up at 3:15 in the afternoon.
In time for the game.
Just I missed the first 15 minutes, but just in time for the game. But Leicester 0, City 1. expected Man City to walk over Leicester, but Leicester have perked up a little bit recently, Pete. Kevin De
Yeah, I
Bruyne
did.
with the winning goal.
Yeah, I watched some of this game while I was in the pub before the match on Saturday. Yeah, I mean, I thought Leicester times give it a really good chance of themselves. They really had to defend it well at times when they needed to, as well. But it's a cracking free kick from Kevin De Bruyne of all people.
Yeah.
It really, really was. But Tielemans was unlucky not to follow up with a kind of a similar goal as well, which is very, very unlucky.
I like
with that.
Tielemans. I would love to sign him. But James, obviously, City marching on, the hunting down Arsenal at the moment. This was a big win for them away from home because in the past, that's the kind of game they might have drawn.
Well, yeah, and also don't forget, you look back at Leicester's had an upper hand on City before. You know, they're the 5-2 at the Etihad and even times before that.
Mm-hmm.
But although it's just a 1-0 loss, Leicester can still be proud that it wasn't more. I'm not just saying that just as collateral. It's just, you know, they could have been easily crushed by City, but just a set piece that undoing them in the end is not too bad. In all honesty, I mean, still didn't get the 3 points, but, you know, they got to look at the bright side of things.
Yeah, they seem to have turned a corner. I thought Leicester were going to really struggle, but I don't know whether what it is, but something's clicked, and they seem to be a bit more together and a bit more solid at the back, which they weren't. They were shipping goals left, right, and centre. So it's nice to see them on the rise a little bit. As long as they get nowhere near us, I don't really care. Evening all from Evening Anvil. We've got that bit. Where's the big mouth Steve? I would love to know where Steve is. He just can't take the fact that Newcastle are doing well. If Man City have Haaland injured, De Bruyne is their great backup. But Haaland's a different beast, though, isn't he?
Yeah.
Hi, Bars, PD, and James and all. Rodgers seems to have survived. Well, Rodgers was never going to get sacked because of FFP. They wanted 10 million.
That was the thing. Leicester can't
really
afford
to get rid of him. Yeah,
10 million it was going to cost them, and he didn't have it. Watch James eating looks delicious. It was, what was it again?
Pasta. Now we got Eastern European stuff.
Ooh.
We had borscht, which is like a beetroot soup, but someone went and ate it, and I didn't get a chance to have it. So I'm just having the last of the scraps.
Brilliant. Even I like coffee.
What? So
the next game, bit of a thriller. It had us third at one point in the league, which was getting very exciting. Bournemouth went 2-0 up, with Kiefer Moore scoring 2. But Tottenham do what Tottenham have done quite a lot recently, seem to turn around a deficit. Sessegnon, Davies and Bentancur in the 92nd minute winning it.
Yeah.
Devastated, Pete.
Oh, yeah, imagine. If Bournemouth had been switched off for that third goal and take a draw out of that would have put us into third place there, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, but Spurs, problems at the back for me still.
Yeah. People can get at them. I mean, we got at them.
Yeah.
A lot of teams are getting at them at the moment.
That is Spurs' weakness at the moment. I mean, sorry, but that Emerson Royale, he's probably one of the worst right backs or wing backs I've seen in the Premier League.
The favela Simon Francis. That should be his nickname. Pretty much.
I love it. Bastard Spurs. Baz changed the red ribbons on the Premier League trophy to black and white and it will look even more beautiful. I agree with that. I just don't know how to do it. I haven't got my phone. Everything's done on my phone. It's why I've got nothing to put up tonight. I'm absolutely gutted. Typical underdogs did well first half, then got tied in the second half. That summed up Bournemouth to me.
No.
Essentially.
No.
What about you, James? What did you make of the Spurs-Bournemouth result?
Well, surprisingly, it wasn't the usual goal scorers, really, was it, for a start? But it's just, I'm pissed at Bournemouth because I can't stand them. And all they had to do was just hold on at least get a point out of it. But now, it's just Spurs. It's just a very insufferable team. Well,
obviously, you've been from a London club. Yeah, you're going to say that about Spurs. I don't mind Spurs in a way. I quite like them.
Well, that's each their own.
That's very true. Yeah, but we used to be, they used to be our whipping boys back in the day. We used to smash them left, right, and centre until they decided to get a bit better. I mean, the stats suggest Tottenham deserved to win the game. 70% of possession, 23 shots, only 7 on target. So, I mean, they did actually pound the Bournemouth goal, but You know, they got there in the end, and it's a sign of a top 4 team coming back from 2 goals down and winning. So
They will be a top 4 team, I reckon. I hate to say
yeah.
it, but they will. They got the tools for it.
Yeah, definitely. Next game, 2 struggling teams at the moment. Brentford, Wolves played out a 1-1 draw. Goals within 2 minutes of each other. Neves again, who I would love Newcastle to sign. Ben Mee with the opener, though, who's been solid for Brentford since he went there from Burnley. And Diego Costa, the man himself, the fiery character, got himself sent off in injury time. Stupid boy.
Why? Just why do it?
I know. I don't get it.
He was shit when he played against us.
Was he?
Yeah.
Did he? I mean,
That's
even
another striker that Wolves have lost.
Yeah. I mean, is it a free match ban or is it a 1-match ban?
It'll all be a free match ban. He headbutted him. You can't.
I haven't seen it, you see, so he headbutted him.
Stupid, really.
Oh, I love it. The stats suggest it was quite an even game. Brentford had a bit more possession, but shots were the same, on target were the same, so they played out a 1-1 draw. Where do Wolves go from here, James? Because I've said they'd struggle this season because they're sold 2 good players. They haven't really invested enough.
I don't know, honestly. It's looking quite bleak for him if you look at the bigger picture. Because I know. Thank you, Kevin. We didn't. What's I thought? The thing with Wolves is since Jimenez got hurt with his school injury, they haven't had a good striker really to back him up. They got Wanky Chan had a little bit of a purple patch, but since then he hasn't been good.
Didn't he?
Yeah. Diego Costa. I don't think he's going to be a good solution for him long term. Look at his age.
No.
For a start, and they got a lot of very good midfielder players. The holding midfielders are very good. But the midfield is the only place where it's good. They don't have good defense. They got midget ass Johnny who got mullered by Skamaka.
Why did they get rid of Cody?
Yeah, exactly. He's done really well at Everton, Cody.
Yeah, I don't get it. There must have been something in the dressing room or something to do with the manager. There's got to be something there because it smells wrong.
Well, I think the club smells a bit wrong right now. Something's not right there. It's not a good vibe.
No, it's definitely not. People about Brentford, though, I mean, they went through 2 heavy defeats against Villa, which was a bit of a shock. Obviously us, which was not really much of a shock. They pulled out a point. Do they have enough to stay up this year?
Yeah, I would say so. I think they do play good football under Thomas Frank, and I think this could be a turning point for them, hopefully. I can't see them going down now. I did say they would really, really struggle, but just stay up.
Yeah.
But they still play. No, I think they're definitely going to have enough to stay up for me.
Yeah, I think so. James, what do the London press reckon about Conte's longevity? Does he stay or bugger off back to Juve?
Well, I don't. I'm not even based in the UK, so I don't know.
He doesn't know that, though, I don't think. But you still might, understand the London press more than what we do, I suppose.
I don't know if like Toby Cudworth or even David Ornstein have said anything. I don't even know. Avco, this is a West Ham shirt. It's the
West Ham shirt.
1986 Tony Cottee vibes. I got this from my mum.
There we go.
It's like a Tupperware party, yeah, because I make loads of batches and just save them all these like portioning things in an attempt to lose weight. And the dog's called Kobe after Kobe Bryant. And he's 5-month-old black lad. But yeah, that's why I just put them all in little pots and everything, just eat them. It's just like my signature thing on this channel. When I'm hungry, I'm hungry. I can't help it.
Wolves switched to a back 3 and Cody was seen as surplus to requirements.
Really?
I thought they went to a back 4 and he was subject to requirements.
Whatever it is, it's not working for them.
It hasn't, has it? I think Brentford will stay up again, but I can see them in the Premier League in 2 to 3 years' time. Potentially, I don't know. It depends if they invest, though, doesn't it? I mean,
yeah, it does.
Son of concussion.
Spurs playing Champions League, so it could be that.
Yeah.
It is a West Ham shirt.
It is a West Ham shirt.
Yeah.
It's the Avco that confused me. It's an old sponsor, isn't it?
Yeah.
I haven't got any of the football on, so people want to tell us what's going on with the scores in the Champions League.
I can.
Welcome.
Well, Rangers are 2-0 down to Ajax.
Already? I had a feeling that would happen. Right. Shame Mike. We'll save Brighton for later because Mike might make it. I don't know. But we might as well go to Steve's game. Palace 1, Southampton 0. That's Steve's team done. I'm joking. A much needed win for Palace. Got them into mid-table now. Southampton, a funny side. We've got them next. I do worry about going away to Southampton. I know we beat them last season. We went through that amazing run. But they seem to get points against teams you don't expect them to get points against, and then get beat against the teams you expect them to do well against.
Well, yeah, you can't say that. But, I mean, I thought they had some numerous opportunities in the game on Saturday as well, but they just didn't take them. And if you don't take your chances, well, you don't score goals at the end of the story. And I have no fear of us going down there on Sunday now with the way we are playing. Because if I was strong, our defence has been as well. I believe we'll pick up all 3 points down there.
Yeah. I'm not scared of them. That whole picking up points when they're not meant to scares me a little bit. That's the only little thing. It's just like they always give us a good game when they're down there. It was a tough game last season. James, what do you make of Palace this season? I mean, that's a vital 3 points to them. It gets them into 10th and gives them a bit of a buffer.
Well, they're a team with good depth, and they they've started to become less dependent on Zaha a lot of time. I think over the last couple of years, just getting in different kind of players. They've got players like Mateta, Edouard, obviously the striker section, midfield as well, getting Decore in. They got a manager who's, I think, more of what I like to refer to as a liberal-minded manager, tactically liberal-minded, in the sense that he's more of a, not rookie as such, but more of a, what's what I'm looking for? Shall we say younger manager, for lack of a better word. So he's in a more modern ideas. I think
he's been on the backroom staff of a few teams, hasn't he? Where he's learned a lot, hasn't he?
But I think that's how you start usually. I think
definitely.
being in the backroom stuff, you're learning from some of the best. He's learned at Man City. He's learned in America.
Arteta did the same thing.
Yeah. So, Palace. I'm not going to say I'd really do dislike them. I mean, I'm all right with Palace. I mean, being a London club as well, they're rivals, but I don't overly,
I'm not worried about them. It's just Steve, isn't it? Just like to wind them up.
Southampton, on the other hand, I don't know what went on with their recruitment, but I don't think it was very good, to be honest. No. I mean, they got everyone in very quickly, but did he really have players that are that good enough? I don't know. Aribo, great midfielder. To be honest with you, Ward-Prowse, good midfielder.
He's having a poor season, though, so far.
It's important.
Bad timing as well, because the World Cup around the corner.
Anson Nuttall's slowly starting to lose it at Southampton. I mean, they're dropping in standard. Yeah, it's obvious because they were in a relegation scrap for some parts last season.
Yeah, they're definitely going to be in one again this season. I think they're going to struggle and potentially go down, to be honest.
Certainly.
I feel sorry for Joel. I hope Joel's watching because Joel wants to get back involved again. He's been through a tough time and he knows our doors are open and we can't wait to have his smiling face back on this channel again and on this show. Here's one for you, Pete. Zaha to Newcastle. I personally say no.
No. I mean,
Eze, though.
Eze. I see Zaha's got that cheap style in him where he can dive a lot. And I don't want players like that, particularly. Anthony Gordon was another one we were linked with, and again, he's the same. I don't want players like that in my side. We've got to be careful what we say because Miggy's got a bit of a. Well, he can as a little bit,
hasn't he? He's a bit of a naughty boy at times.
I've seen the other two do way more lot at it. So.
Oh yeah, damn right they do. I saw Miggy dive a couple of days ago, and I was like, Miggy, get up! Newcastle interested in Ward-Prowse in the summer. Can't see Newcastle interested in him in January. I don't think we'll go anywhere near him.
Here's my hot take on Ward-Prowse, though. I think he's only just really a set-piece specialist, to be fair.
A lot of people have said that. I think there's a little bit more to his
game.
Back. But, hey. Chelsea and Arsenal thought they would be hammering Southampton, but didn't work out that way. Southampton shouldn't be disrespected. Very capable team on their day. It's just like I said, they're a strange team. Evening, Ellie. Thanks for joining, honey. I hope you're well over in Saudi Arabia. I'm looking forward to the next Gallagher Girls a week on Wednesday. I'm predicting 9-0 win for us against Southampton. Miggy hat-trick, Wilson hat-trick, Bruno, Joelinton, Botman. Southampton love their 9-0 defeats every season and are due one this season. They do, but they're always away from home, though, aren't they?
No, the Leicester one was at home.
Was it? Did they get battered 9-0 at home? Oh, my God, I can't remember. That's horrible. Right. Pete. 4-0.
I'm looking forward to talking about this one, actually.
Yes.
I watched it.
Yeah, I mean, before we got the penalty, I thought it was quite sluggish from both teams, I've got to admit. But as soon as we got the penalty and scored that, we just absolutely took them to the cleaners the rest of the football match. It's a stonewall penalty. I don't know why Ashley Young's trying to complain, and he's trying to do the YMCA of all things to try and stop use his hand. I mean, and then Wilson just buries it straight down the middle, cool as you like. Definitely. And the second goal, I like the short. We're starting to work well on short corners now, which is really, really good because between Trippier and Miggy's just absolutely fantastic when Trippier gets that ball in and Wilson's just there. Potential of a check of offside for Dan Burn, possibly, but no, which was good. And slightly could have been trouble up the other end, but we win the ball and we break away down there. And the substitute keeper, of course, who ended up spilling it out to Joelinton, who I thought was superb again for me yesterday. In terms of his hold of play and his work rate was just so good.
He was absolutely fantastic.
And it was just about time.
Yeah, Miggy's goal was absolutely fantastic.
As soon as that left Miggy's foot, I knew it was going in.
Yeah,
so I thought just that is in for me. And wow,
Miggy Stardust, as John called him.
And that's 7 goals for Miggy this season. Would you believe it? He's well
6 and 6
on the
in
way.
October.
He's well on the way for double figures.
Yeah, I said if he can get 5 goals, 5 assists this season, I'd be very happy. And he's already smashed the goals count. Just needs to assist a little bit more.
Yeah, that's it. It was interesting to see Gareth Southgate was at the game as well because of who was going to possibly go to the World Cup. Well, I believe Trippier and Pope are definitely going to be going to the World Cup.
Oh, yeah, hell yeah.
Possibly Callum Wilson. Do I think he deserves a chance? Yes. Do I want him to go?
No.
I actually not really. That's the problem. I still have that concern of his injuries. I've got
me too.
But the one I'm really shit myself is Tyrone Mings going to be going to the World Cup because he is just a rotten.
He's shocking, isn't he? Shocking.
There's a new name, Tyrone Mingen, because he was Mingen.
Tyrone Ming the Merciless.
I love it. Well, very quickly on the stats wise, we had 20 shots, 7 on target.
Yeah,
we could have had 7 goals with the bar and post.
I love the way Newcastle play.
Oh, it's great, isn't it? It's a joy to watch.
It's just energy, intensity, speed. I think defensively it's sound. You got rid of crowd defenders like Kieran Clark, got in Botman. He was absolutely a fantastic player.
Botman, Burn, got Shaw playing again.
Miggy's benefiting from playing out wider. I think he's, he just scores bangers all the time, that guy. So it's not nothing new. Joelinton's obviously a player we talked about before. He's improved a lot. Beast of a midfielder with his little interceptions and his control. It's a good time to be a Newcastle fan. It's similar to I like the way you guys play, but I'm jealous at the same time because I wish West Ham would do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to see we've got Maxi back now, which keep it fit. We've got Shelby back in. I would personally not rush them straight back in just yet. Just slowly work them in. But it might be interesting to see if Maxi does play because Joelinton's picked up his 5th yellow card. So will not make the Southampton game. So we'll wait and see. But if Murphy plays, okay. I mean, I thought he was unlucky. He hit the post and he put up a great cross as well for Wilson, but unfortunately Wilson hit the bar after that as well. So we could have won by more than 4, actually. But I'm going to say for Villa, it's a big job for Emery now.
Oh, huge job. Pete, I think you owe me an apology as well.
Go on.
Well, I was always the one that said that Miggy was a player there and he will come good. And you all screamed at me.
Well,
come on.
There was a lot of bad performances last season. That was the problem. But I think because what Eddie's done with the likes of Joelinton and that, maybe he's now done it with Miggy, worked a bit more with him, and has got him the player now.
It was boiling like mad.
Bruno.
I thought it was going to burn.
Ooh. Right, well, it's a good timing as well because Martin's made it. He's only got voice on tonight because he's in a car park. Martin, can you hear us?
Evening.
Evening.
Yeah, I can hear you. Have you won the league yet?
No, mate, no, mate. No, who's saying that? No, we're just.
No, I was watching a Newcastle thing the other day, and they were, have we got a squeaky shout for the league? And I just rolled my eyes. Hang on, one step at a time, lads. One step.
Oh, yeah.
No, we're daring to dream to make Europe. That's what I think. But again, you never know.
Do you know what?
Could happen.
Do you know what, Baz? Top 6, I think, will be stellar for Newcastle. Top 6.
Huge.
Because I've said this to Pete 1,000 times. But listen, we've been there and done it. This is how we know. And I know there's potential sponsorships coming, but you gotta look at it of that doesn't allow you to go off spending straight away because they'll go on next year's books.
Yeah.
It's all 12, 24 months in advance. That's where City nearly got caught out. So, and also one thing I've noticed, and I think I put it in the group chat the other day, you're looking at players that now City, Chelsea, United are all shopping at as well. So if you've now got to start factoring in the effort of, you may want a player, but if Manchester City want the same player, or you know what I mean? I mean,
Alvarez, yeah.
Well, apparently he's a City fan. Everyone's a City fan now. All these young lads are suddenly City fans. It's amazing me how they're all City fans all of a sudden. You don't know. Listen, to me, I think it'd be great for Newcastle to get top 6. It will be great. The problem is you've got to say this is a 2-part season. Things will come out in the wash after the World Cup. Things will. But Eddie Howe's doing a magnificent job. All power to him. I want to see when he hits a sticky patch. He's not really hit one yet, which is credit to him. But how does he cope if you go 2, 3 games, 4 games without winning? Yeah. How will he cope? Because that's the one thing Eddie Howe doesn't cope well with. He's shown that at Bournemouth and his brief spell at Burnley. He does struggle when he hits a sticky patch. But listen, live the dream, keep it going, and all power to it.
That's it.
Yeah. It was a great timing for you to come in, though, because is Jack Grealish playing like Miggy yet?
Grealish has blood on his hands.
Hey, do you know what else he's got? He's also got a league title, something Mickey's not got. So, hey, listen, can talk all he wants, but he's got a league titles medal, hasn't he? So, he's playing in the Champions League.
He does all the talking, doesn't he? He does all the talking, doesn't he? Never delivers on the pitch, though.
He does. He does. Yeah. He does.
No,
Trust me, he does.
On that one, then. I'll believe you on that.
It's only because everyone looks at him and says goals and assists. Ask Villa fans. He doesn't score goals and he doesn't assist. He is what I call the assist to the assist.
Yeah, like the
if that makes sense. David Silva. David Silva never scored goals, but he's the greatest player that I ever witnessed in a Manchester City shirt. Because I wasn't alive for the Colin Bell era, but David Silva didn't score goals.
No, you're right.
So we saying he's no good.
No, definitely not. That's just I just find it funny. And by the way, it was actually Pep Guardiola who mentioned Newcastle United as title contenders for some reason. So I don't know why he said that. I think he's just been nice.
Pep's the opposite to Klopp. Always remember that. Klopp's the gobby one. Pep's the one who says the nice things.
Yeah,
you're right there, Martin.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. Oh, I've just got to bring Mike in. He's just lost connection. While we've got you, Martin, again, do you want to just quickly tell us about the Man City game? Because I didn't get to see it, but obviously it's an away win. It's another 3 points. And was it a frustrating game?
Yeah, because of Leicester. I mean, what do you do when you've got a 10-man wall? They're the home team, and but it's not that easy. You will figure that out soon enough. It is not an easy of a 10-man low block wall just to come out with. And then the problem is Pep's got this little thing at the minute where he wants to change tactics a little bit, and he changed personnel, which is very frustrating at the moment because he did it up at your place, changed his whole style of play, which was madness. And then he changed it at Anfield, which again was madness. And then he's done it ever since Anfield. He's decided to go and throw Kevin De Bruyne on the right-hand side. And Bernardo Silva was on the right with him, and Grealish was on his own on the left on his own. And we were putting in balls as though it was Haaland in the middle and not Alvarez. Yeah. So it was very frustrating. But superb free kick. That's why he's probably, for me, the world's best midfielder in the world right now.
I would say he is. I've always been a massive fan of Kevin De Bruyne, to be fair. Mike, you made it.
Hey, got there in the end.
Unlike that pleb Steve who can't bother to message back.
Yeah, where is he?
I don't know. He's obviously bottled it again, hasn't he? No. We saved your game because we want you to talk about it. Because my God, obviously you've had a bit of the hump with Chelsea after the taking
a little bit
taking the manager and half your backroom staff, as we had that conversation on Twitter, and now they took your women's manager.
Yeah,
to get that one in.
And isn't Trossard's going as well, isn't it?
Trossard could be going to Newcastle. Sorry, Mike.
Yeah.
But,
at least he's
going to Chelsea, not Newcastle.
Nah, he won't go to Chelsea.
No, apparently he's done. From I was on a podcast the other day with some guys in Australia, and they've got two of his mates are really big Brighton fans, and they've been told it's good as done. Trossard to Chelsea. Wow. So whether that's believed or not, I don't know, but apparently that's what he wants.
Yeah, because we were very interested in him as well. But Mike, what a performance! 2-0 up after 14 minutes, and he just kept on going again. Put the game to bed. Chelsea made it a little bit interesting, and then you rounded it up at the in the dying minutes of the game. And you said it's one of the best atmospheres you've been in for a long time at the stadium.
Yeah, absolutely was. It was the Graham Potter show. It was like and the Mark Cucurella show. It was everything was just before the game geared up to them coming on, and absolutely atmosphere was amazing, and the players just fed off that. You could see right from the start. De Zerbi plays that sort of football anyway. I don't think he kind of knows how to take the break off, because against Man City he was doing the same. But we just blitzed them in the first half, and they had a bit more shape in the second half. Potter tweaked it around, but he then started after the game, like he started making comments about, it was never like that when I was here, that we never had that atmosphere, and that's actually not true, because there was I've been a big critic about the atmosphere of the Amex, but there were games when he was there. Man City, when we played them at the Amex, Leicester, his last game, West Ham, the atmosphere was brilliant. Maybe not quite up there with that game, because obviously everyone was fired up because of it was him. But there were some funny things happening, like Ben Roberts, a goalkeeping coach, because because Chelsea were playing in that end the second half. He brought Mendy over to that goal and then started warming him up right in front of the North Stand. So obviously he got loads of stick. Cucurella went off the pitch and decided to walk right past the North Stand when he was substituted, so he got loads. And then obviously shame Steve's not here, because Conor Gallagher, obviously the Palace connection, he come off and did the same, and he just got so much stick. But I don't know whether you watch the highlights, but the passing, the play, the breaking up, the press, everything in that first half was just so good. It was the best I've seen him play at the Amex for a while, to be fair, apart from that Leicester game, which was unbelievable.
That was a great game.
Yeah. But Leicester were poor, to be fair, that game, whereas we're talking about, all due respect to Leicester, we're talking about a different level of opposition. And we played well against Man City, and he brought that on against Chelsea, and we, like I say, we blitzed them away, and the atmosphere is brilliant, and hopefully we can take that atmosphere to the remaining games. You know, Villa is a game at home. That'd be fantastic if we can do that, because the players, no doubt, they even said afterwards, they said we fed off that. So no, it was good and just so good to be there. But I mean, to be fair to with all the Graham Potter thing, before it all started, I was actually kind of sticking up for him, like in the fact that a lot of our fans will find it difficult to disassociate Graham Potter with everyone leaving. Obviously, Graham Potter's given the names of people he likes working with, but it's a Chelsea owner that's gone out and grabbed everyone, not Graham Potter. So I was having this big debate with people, but they just can't seem to switch off from there. And I mean, I still like the bloke. We played the best football up till now, the best football I've ever seen in the Amex. We finished in the highest position ever. You know, up to then we were a struggling team near the bottom. Okay, a lot of the recruitment was a lot better, but the guy's a brilliant coach, and he would do a good job at Chelsea if he's given the time to do it. And that was a freak result. Yeah, that was a freak result because of the atmosphere. The players were up for it, fed off that, and really it was on a hide into nothing, really. And that's how it worked out.
I felt sorry for him going back because you knew it was going to happen, didn't you, really? It was, But yeah, great result. Les, thank you so much for the £5 super chat. It's absolutely very generous of you. Here's one there. Obviously, I mentioned this about the booing. I mean, we've done it as Newcastle fans. We boo players on return, but a lot of the times we do it jokingly, unless it's Michael Owen, who would just love to tear his head off and shit down his neck and bury him 6 feet under. What did you make of did he get a good reception to start with and then it was bad, or was it booing all the way from the start?
He actually got booed from the start. The thing is, it kind of, the lines, I think I said to you, the lines got blurred because people were really booing Chelsea. Obviously, he's the physical presence in that, and people still like switch off between people. He's taken 7 people with him to Chelsea, which is kind of unprecedented. I don't think I've seen many clubs where people have done that. Maybe over a period of time, but not in that space of time. So you can kind of understand it. But I think a lot of people, when you spoke to them, said they were actually booing Chelsea and booing, what they've done to our club. They systematically dismantled what we were building. And it's fair to say Tony Bloom didn't have to let these people go. That's true. But, from a fan's perspective, it was like we were on the cusp of something really great. And it just got ripped apart. Now we got another manager who's come in who can take that forward. But, I think, like I say, a lot of people were booing the actual situation rather than personally at Potter. We accept that he was going to go. I've said this to you many times. We thought he'd go. The timing was absolutely dire. But was it necessary? Like I said, the atmosphere changed into something really positive. From that initial negative, it changed into something really positive, and the players fed off that. And that's all I can say with that. But obviously, people from outside the club will have a different view from people, from the supporters of Brighton, because they're not in that moment. They're not feeling the frustration of all these people going, of our player of the season last season being transferred. Our head of recruitment now linked with Chelsea. We've now got Trossard linked with going to Chelsea, maybe Casado going to Chelsea. So all this is a combination of all this stuff and the press feeding into this kind of big clubs can come in and just take what they want from you, and it's. I think someone wrote a really good article saying that it's like you're a small club and you build something really good, and then the big six just come in and say, "There's a pecking order here, and we're above you in that." Yeah. And unfortunately,
can I just ask a question on that? Sorry, because I do get it. I totally get. Because, listen, I had a load of grief off Brighton fans in the summer when City went after Cucurella. They all came after me for some weird reason. I don't know why. It's as though that I was the owner of Manchester City for some weird reason. They all just came after me. And I went, and all I thought was that City were going to put a bid in for Cucurella that evening, which we did. which got rejected. Now, the simple fact is, I understand this top six hatred, but, and this is something, Pete and Baz, you will get, trust me, it will come to you, this. Because when you hit that top six, you become hated by everyone below it. But, and I do get the frustration from the Brighton point of view, but does it not work that way in business, in football and out of football anyway? Because if you look across all the top European leagues, Bayern Munich have been doing that for years. Yeah. It happens in France. It happens in Italy with the Milan clubs. That's just football. And to be honest, that's business. If you see someone doing a great job at a sort of corner shop, and I don't that sounds, no, take that back, because I don't mean it in that way, because Brighton are not a corner shop. Brighton are a fan. I mean, I said to you, Brighton are the best team I've seen at the Etihad for 2 years. And I'll stand by that. Best team I've seen at the Etihad for 2 years. What I mean is that it happens. So I don't know. Like, if Brighton got to the top six,
look at Southampton, for example, with Liverpool. Liverpool just dismantled Southampton.
Yeah, I get the frustration, but it sounds awful saying this and arrogant, and I don't mean it, because City have been in the bloody doldrums. Trust me, I was there, and I've got every sympathy of it. But I can only say, because I've had all the stick from the Brighton fans, like there's a hatred towards the top six, but that's business, innit? I don't know. I'm trying to make it sound without sounding arrogant. If you know what I mean.
I totally understand what you're saying, and you're right. I think with this particular situation, we understand, and I think if you spoke to Brighton fans, they knew Graham Potter was going to go. They knew Cucurella was going to go. They know Casado's going to go. And we know money talks. That's just business, as you say. And Chelsea, and in a way, Chelsea taking everyone is a backhanded compliment of everything that Tony Bloom's put in place. But the fact that Chelsea have done it in such a short space of time is what irks the fans. And I mean, I don't know why people were giving you grief about Cucurella, because Cucurella wanted to move. It wasn't Brighton saying Cucurella going. Cucurella said, I want to go to a top six side. I want to play Champions League. And Brighton said, yes, you can go, but it's going to cost clubs to sign him. And in the end, we got a good fee for him. I mean, him getting booed on Saturday was almost like it was the pantomime thing where an ex-player comes. He's only played one season. He hasn't really done anything, so he's going to get booed. But yeah, no, you're right in what you're saying. But I think people outside the top six, because we don't live in that kind of world, it does get a bit frustrating when you've got, I mean, like now we've got Trossard who's on fire, who we all know is just going to go. It's very unlikely he's going to sign a new deal for us. He's going to go, and we're going to have to try and get the best we can for him, and we're then going to have to find someone to play in that place. That is football, that is life, that's the way it goes, but it just doesn't stop you getting any more frustrated with it. But and Newcastle will get it. I love Newcastle supporters. They're brilliant, and like Man City, they've gone through quite a lot of crap through the years, and I know Man City did. I can remember them being in the second division, in the first division, League One. I can remember that. So this is football, this is economics. But at the moment, I think because it was so many in a short space of time with Chelsea, and Graham Potter
I get
that.
Yeah,
that's kind of
why. And listen, I don't mean it in an arrogant way, because like I said, I remember Sean Wright Phillips being sold to Chelsea for 21 million quid, and we were devastated at the time. Devastated, because the sweep was being moved on to Chelsea. But we kind of knew where we were. He was going on to better himself, and I just listen. The top six probably they shouldn't have a divine right, and they probably don't act like they have a divine right. But you know what's really sad? That's the way it is, and that's what I don't like about football at times. That it is monopolised, because you have some great clubs, Everton, West Ham, Villa, with lots of heritage, lots of history, that are just, as soon as they get good, the top just. Ferguson did it for years, didn't he? Any player, if Arsenal, any team dared to challenge Ferguson for the title, He went and took their best players off them.
Mm.
It's just something I don't like about football, but I know it's sadly there.
Yeah. Well, look at you guys. You just took Haaland out of Dortmund.
Sorry, but Baz,
Can I say
some guys just put in the comment. Sorry, some guys just. I can't believe I've read that comment. Oh, that's hilarious.
Which one? There's quite a few ones.
Sorry.
That one?
So he's saying that City don't get as much stick as Newcastle. Is he having a laugh? Is he having a laugh?
Stick, but it's now been deflected.
Has he heard of Miguel Delaney? No, it's not, Baz. Have you heard of Miguel Delaney? Go and have a read of Miguel Delaney. He hates the word. There was a guy who did a thing up at your end, slagging off City. Saying we only have 30,000 in the, Newcastle should never become City. City get a lot of stick, trust me.
Oh, you do.
Trust me.
We get a lot of stick.
This whole ribbing players is, as you know, Dan Burn came back to the Amex this season, and he said goodbye to the fans in the proper way. Cucurella tried to engineer a move, and that was totally different. Dan Burn wanted to go to his boyhood club. Newcastle are a team that, hey, they're moving up the table. They're going to be a top 6 side sooner rather than later. And everyone he got a standing ovation, the man, So it's going in the right way. And I think that's the other thing probably with Graham Potter is that his comments haven't painted him in a great light. He's almost like there's a bit of arrogance about what he'd done at Brighton rather than having a humility, reacting off what the fans were doing. So I'm not excusing all the booing because some people, I thought the booing for Bruno and for Ben Roberts was like a little bit unnecessary. Bruno's like a club legend. But yeah, I just want to say that it's not always like that, and we do it where we are in the food chain, it's just frustrating.
Yeah, of course it is. And it happened to Newcastle, Liverpool decided to take Andy Carroll off us because he was starting to look like an unbelievable striker. Probably would have been. Kabay orchestrated a move to PSG because PSG wanted what was technically one of the best French players at the time.
Andy called the Man United.
Well, again, that Keegan sold him, to be fair. That was a little bit different because he wanted Les Ferdinand. He's never shied away from that. He always said that Andy Cole wasn't the complete striker that he wanted. He could have been, though, because look at what he did at Man United in the end.
Yeah.
Crazy. There was a lot went on behind the scenes with Cole and Lee Clark and Keegan. There was a lot of stuff that went on there. But we very rarely got cherry picked back then, but we did under the Ashley era, is what I'm trying to say. Is that it wasn't as bad as you guys because we were shit. But we still had some decent players at times, and we lost them to bigger clubs because of what they were doing. Then Babar to Chelsea.
Yeah.
Another one. Remy. And, look, Remy went to Chelsea as well, didn't he? So, when we got something good going, it just vanished very quickly. Right, next game, Fulham Everton 0-0. Not even going to talk about that. It was a pretty cool game to be fair. Right, come on, Pete. Liverpool 1, Leeds 2. What is Jurgen Klopp's new nickname? Go on.
Mr. Teeth.
Mr. Teeth. Right. Look, he does it like he's been on an E, doesn't he? He's had too many E's, double dropped on a Friday night, and he's chewing his gums away.
Do you know what he actually looks like? He looks like Jarvis Cocker, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Or Bingo from Banana Split.
Oh,
Hold on, because we've got a lookalike of the.
But to be honest with you, I actually got to watch most of this game, which was very rare for me.
Me too.
But what a calamity mistake by Gomez, and it was Gomez, wasn't it? The defender.
It was Gomez.
Smashes it across his own box without looking. sets it on a play for Rodrigo after 4 minutes to go 1-0 up. Then after 14 minutes, the equalised with Salah. It was a good finish. Lovely cross from Robertson. I thought he was brilliant for the full game. He put in some unbelievable balls. If there was ever a left back you wanted to be English, it's him.
Yeah.
Fabulous player. But they stole it in the last minute, and I thought Somerville had an excellent game for Leeds. He looked dangerous all the way through it. I thought they were well worth the 3 points, Peter.
Yeah, I mean, it's just rotten defending from Liverpool again. It's so bad.
It was non-existent, wasn't it? Half the time when they were breaking through.
The problem with Liverpool's side is that midfield and defence, it's majority of it, it's too aged. I mean, Henderson, well into his 30s. Fabinho, the same. Milner, well into his 30s as well. Van Dijk, into his 30s. Matip's another one, even though he didn't play, but that was her. And Van Dijk's is getting slower for me now. I've got to admit. And again, the pass from Joe Gomez, I mean, who's still a young lad. I mean, my God, that was dreadful. And I've said it so many times about Trent Alexander-Arnold. He's a good attacker, but he just can't defend for Britain. That is his problem.
And where was he when Gomez was picking up that ball down the right-hand side? Because that's where technically he should have been picking that up, the way the ball was played. I was like, a bit weird. Yes, the Leeds goalkeeper, I like him. I've always liked him. Everyone says, he concedes too many goals. I'm like, well, I'm not surprised when you're facing about 25 shots every bloody game. You are going to see concede goals. I think he's a very good up and young goalkeeper. One to keep an eye on and see where he ends up, because I think he'll be too good for Leeds soon. James, what about you? What are your thoughts on Liverpool themselves? I mean, Leeds deserved the win, fully deserved it, but Liverpool are really struggling this year.
Just think it's funny.
Brilliant. Just think it's funny.
I just finished drinking Klopp's tears, actually. I was having a glass of water earlier.
I love it.
Play Cry Me a River by Justin Timberlake, because that's exactly what it is.
Baz, get me full screen a moment, because this is one of the this lookalike we've got.
We haven't done that for a while, but there we go.
What is that even from?
That is fantastic. Brilliant. I love it. Martin, I'll bring you in quickly. Take yourself off mute, pal. Liverpool, meant to be your rivals for this season. They're going to be absolutely nowhere near this league and really struggling to finish in the top four now.
Couldn't have happened to a nicer bloke. Trust me now, Jurgen Klopp has no friends in Manchester, I assure you. Because, listen, the guy is just... I mean, what I want to say about him, I can't say properly on air, but the guy was the guy who... This is the same manager who stoked up all the issues on and off the field in our match 2 weeks ago, causing kids to cry coming out of grounds because of what happened, and our bus getting attacked again, and blah, 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 blah. And it's simply because his comments before the game were just... Anyway, everyone's heard the comments, and City have got their complaint in at the moment, so... But no, it couldn't have happened to a nicer club. Listen, I do think they'll finish in the top six. I don't think they won't finish outside the top six because they have got too good of players not to. But top four, I don't think they'll make top four, but I think they'll probably make top six.
Yeah, I think they're really, really going to struggle. And it's Mike. This is a bit of a rumor going on that Jurgen Klopp, after 7 years at a club, he always flops in his seventh season.
Yeah, this seems to be a pattern, doesn't it? It seems to have followed him around this 7 season sort of fall apart. I mean, Liverpool,
number 7.
Yeah, Liverpool need a rebuild, don't they? That's like there's some of their players just like Henderson, players like that are just too old and you need to sort of some more players in. But yeah, I agree. I think that they're going to be lucky to finish top 4. You know the way it is. Their squad's probably good enough to get top 6, but top 4 is looking a bit of a push. I know it's early days, but you've got players coming back from the World Cup as well, so you've got that added in. You know that some of those players are going to be tired and maybe injured. So yeah, and the guy just comes out with so much rubbish. It's like what the hell, you know? Like after every game they lose, there has to be some sort of mental excuse that why it's happened. The grass was too long; it was the wrong colour. You know,
it's too much playing free games.
Yeah.
I don't even buy into this that they're old, that the age is old, because this was a team who nearly won the quad last year. How have they dropped off in 2 months?
Yeah,
they've not dropped off that much in 2 months.
I don't mean it like that. I mean Henderson is a lot slower now, a lot less mobile around the pitch, and to have like someone like that, and you've then got like players like Milner, who's probably fitter than anyone in their team, but the pace is just not there. They just seem lethargic. Their defending's awful. Van Dijk has gone from probably one of the best defenders in Europe to I don't know what he's doing to him, but it's just ridiculous. They just don't look like a team that's been challenging Man City for so long at the moment.
Yeah, that's one of them.
I was about to say that, but someone
no, that
is a massive miss for me.
I've got to say, the comments down there are actually class tonight. They're actually
the turkey.
That's amazing.
I had another one said to me as well.
Yeah. See, I loved Jurgen Klopp when he first went to Liverpool. I was like, if I wanted a manager at Newcastle, it would be him. And now I just can't stand him.
Do you remember though? Do you remember Arsene Wenger when he first came and there was him and Fergie? He was so cool and he was like, "I'm not going to get involved in any of that like off-field shenanigan." And then suddenly something just flipped and Wenger become like all involved in Fergie's head games and Arsenal started losing it a bit. They went from this team that were really like competing with Man United to a team that Fergie just seemed to get in his head. And I think like Klopp's just lost the plot. He seems to have just lost the plot completely. They're losing games and he kind of doesn't know how to fix it. That's what it seems like from the outside. And it kind of reminds me of that Wenger when he started to lose it a bit at Arsenal.
Yeah, I agree with that. You got that picture ready, Pete?
Go on.
Oh my god, that is hilarious!
He actually looks like one of my old uni professors thinking about it. And the guy actually used to like talk with his mouth out of sync. Ended up dropping his class because he was an absolute prick. But still,
brilliant.
No, don't find him.
I reckon the one with Van Dijk will give Botman an opportunity. I think it will. Botman's been outstanding for us. Bin Dippers have had to change their style of play to accommodate Nunes. The Harvard Nunes is, I mean, someone put up a stat that Haaland and Nunes, there's literally 0.2 of a kilometre difference in their speed. And I said, who would win in a race? I said, it's very simple. Put them both in front of goal, Haaland will win. Put them in front of a corner flag, Nunes will win.
That was the problem with Nunes. Nunes was bought out of a reaction to Haaland.
Yes, I think he was.
He was literally bought out of a knee-jerk reaction because when you bought Nunes, you're going to have to move Salah out wide. And then you're just nullifying the whole point of last season. I think for me, Liverpool have they're mentally drained after because, let's be honest, Liverpool have gone full pelt for 3-4 years and it does hurt getting 97, 98 points and still not winning the league. That mentally has drained them. They've just come up against a beast in Pep Guardiola that just has outdone Klopp.
Yeah. Perfectly said, really has. Now we're going to move on to the real title contenders. Arsenal battering Forest 5-0 at home. Come on,
here we go.
Here we go.
Arsenal,
here we go. They're on a run. They're the only team for me who have got any chance of putting any sort of challenge in. And if they can add another defensive midfielder to their team in January, why can't they have a go at you?
Well, it depends what money they've got because they have just missed out on the latest FFP sanctions. Arsenal were on the list, but they missed out by a margin. So how much they've got to spend in January, I don't know.
I forgot about Alexander Isak.
Are Arsenal contenders? Yes, at the moment. The problem is Arsenal have got is when City at fifth gear in February, March. Can Arsenal go 14, 15 games? Oh, no, on a winning run? And I don't think they can. I really don't think they can.
I don't know. Some of the comments are pretty. I don't know if you can see them, Martin, but
no, I can't see them.
Oh, it was someone.
Right.
Someone the other day suggested war flags to arrange the white flags at the Gallagher to resemble Klopp's teeth with Liverpool visitors. Oh man, Holland only needs to be fast over 2 yards. That's all he needs. Forrest never had a.
He's a lot quicker than people think.
Oh, he's very quick.
A lot quicker than people think. He's deceptively quick.
Yeah, I agree. He's very quick. Man City for title. I mean, Man City are going to win the title. I've always said that, but I've said Arsenal if they could, because they didn't really play anyone in the first few games, not until they played Man United and they got beat. But then they just carried on their run, and obviously the only blip again is Southampton as well. So it's interesting.
Have Arsenal got the squad to do Europa League and title though?
So far.
He's been playing his reserve in the Europa League, hasn't he? I've watched a few of their games, and he's played with Nketiah up front, and a lot of their first team players are on the bench. So I think he's concentrating on top four, to be honest.
Yeah,
because then that gives them more FFP, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So, and gives a bit more money to spend maybe in the summer.
I think Arsenal will be with us till about March, and then I think they'll feel the strain, shall we say? The
interesting sort of thing that's intriguing me is with Arsenal, Newcastle. If you're in the top four and Arsenal are in the top four and sort of close to Man City, do you then have a January transfer window where you just go for it and think we're going to try and break this top four, or do you think your owners will be a bit more cautious and think, well, this is a long process rather than a sort of we're going to chase it this year, because you're so close to that now and your performances are getting in there. And I know it's early and that, but they must.
Cool.
Oh, has he gone this way? Has he gone?
Gone again.
Top four.
Oh. I think he's back. So to answer Mike's question, he's back again, Mike. Yeah, so you stuttered a bit there. I've always said that if we're around the top six come January, I think it'll speed up the process a couple of more years again. I think they'll sign 2 or 3 potentially top quality players, and we'll take it from there, really. I don't think we'll go stupid. I think they can, if they wanted to, with FFP, because I think we've still got a decent bridge.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's interesting, isn't it? It really is. It's like we're just, we've got to strengthen in a few places.
I think it depends who you go after. Yeah. It's like, apparently, aren't you after Maddison?
I mean, Maddison, Diaby, Alvarez.
Are Newcastle willing to spend 80 million to get Maddison out?
Yeah, I don't think he'll cost that much.
He will. Did you look how much Leicester did for Chelsea?
No,
they're very much. Leicester are like Brighton; they will stick to a price.
Oh, they will, but I think it was 60 million in the summer, so it's got to come down a little bit because he's only got a year and a half left on his contract, and I think he wants to move. So I think there's a chance it could happen. To be honest with you, I think he's even said he would like to leave. So it depends on the Leicester owners. Do they want the cash? Are we going to meet their demands? But it won't be anywhere near that amount. It'll be between 50, 60, I think.
You'll notice, Baz, a lot of your prices will go up when you go.
Oh, they always do.
That's the problem now. You need to add about 20 or 30 million onto a price.
Yeah.
Of every player.
Oh, disappeared.
You go.
Sorry, the signal's going a bit funny.
And that's just, again.
Yeah. Oh, it's gone on mute. Kevin's got a phone for sale if you're looking for a new one, Baz. Nope, I've got my phone. I know where it is. It's coming back to me. But nice of you to join us and troll me, as you always do. We don't mind City winning, and Arsenal deserve
Another
top
comment
1 or 2. There's a few I need to catch up for the moment of effort they're putting out. Man City may feel the strain too of Champions League, maybe, but they've got the squad though, haven't they? Can you remember when?
They've not felt the strain for 4 years.
I love it.
In that thing. This is what I mean about people come up with these comments, and it's like they don't watch what we've done for the last 4 years. Like what?
I would love it. I would love it. Spurs 1-1. What does that do to Spurs? Are they relegated or not?
I'm not so sure. It might drop them to
because it's close. They should have won last
week.
Well, Scouts is getting second moons per month. One is the actual moon, the other is Klopp grinning. Brilliant. Madison is a given, surely. I think he might be. Bruno G and Jolinton are as hot as chili. We just need Rice. I'm sorry, James, but I would love Rice at Newcastle. 80 million, definitely not. Hello, Liam. Still having fun with your manager's game. I think he is. Here's a question. Who goes out the door in January? Very interesting. I think Dominic, Richie.
Either yes, or they'll definitely be away at the end of the season because them two are out of contract, definitely. Chris Wood could possibly be, as talks of that.
Yeah, I mean, he's not exactly hit the ground running now, but again, he did what he needed to do and keep us up. That was as simple as that.
Personally, I would say goodbye to Dubravka.
Yes, the way that he's...
I would take him back from his loan spell and I would get some cash in for him because I don't want him back at this club now.
Nah, I kind of feel the same. Even me and mate. ASM to leave in January, I think. Oh, I don't think that'll happen. Right, the last game of the night, Man United on a bit of a winning streak again. Great header from Rashford. Great cross as well from Eriksen on a plate, and he powered it home. And then he made it 2 with Fred hitting the post. But again, Martin, I'll come to you again. Pep said Man United aren't far away from being a team in the top 4 again and a team challenging. Is his comments
I agree
right?
with him. I've said this. Yeah, I've said this the last two years. United have had all the pieces for a while. They've just needed a manager to bring them in and get them pieces into the right place. United. This is another fallacy that goes on. United have spent more money than anyone on their squad for the last 4 to 5 years, which makes us all laugh when we see protests against their owners about not spending money. When factually they've spent more money and got more wages out than everybody else going. So that's a little fallacy out for United. United will finish top 4. I've got United, Arsenal, City down as top 4. And then it's one of an extra place in. United will make top 4 because Ten Hag has got them something they've not been in a long time, and that's resilient. United didn't win games 1-0 for a long time. They'd get beat or they'd let a lead slip, and they've now got this hard face resilience under Ten Hag, which I hate saying this. Trust me, I hate them with all my might. It's been going to work with them all and everything for years, and it's been great. But I do think they are coming back. Yeah.
Very interesting. James, would you agree?
Yeah, I think United's slowly getting back to what it was, just getting better players and now younger players. And like I said, we needed. Yeah, but every club goes through it. But Man United's needed quite a bit to get back to its former self.
It's got to take a few more steps. Ronaldo's got to go for me. Mike Ronaldo, is he finished? He doesn't look like he's.
I think it's best for all parties if he parts ways, if he goes. I think, get rid for me.
Yeah, I agree. Pete?
Yeah, something's just not working there. His attitude's wrong at the moment. Whether they're going to have to sell him in January or if they've really got the money to do it, it's just cancel the contract and say thanks, but it's just not working out.
I won't really well though, did they?
Because that's the least thing Manchester United want is those kind of attitude players in the dressing room because they've had plenty of them. previously, and I don't think they'll want another one of that. So I think they've got to come to some decision with Ronaldo sooner than later.
I like that one. Man, you top four, as Liam Gallagher would say, "Fuck off, our kid." Brilliant. James, West Ham were unlucky. I mean, Rice nearly scored an absolute thunderbolt.
Oh, man.
And I couldn't believe
That was
De Gea
destined to go in.
saved
That was destined to go in. If De Gea hadn't saved that, that would have been in, and the limbs would have been insane. Early before that, Jared Bowen missed a really decent tapping opportunity. And I know we have had a lot of praise for Bowen in this. I know you lot think he's class, but for me personally, he's been lacking in the last few weeks. He's not got the same energy that he had last season.
Yeah,
He doesn't.
something
And when
missing,
he's in front of goal, he just looks a bit lethargic. Moyes went for it. He didn't play 5 at the back, which was good. He went 4 at the back with Kura playing at right back and with 2 CBs. But the real issue in that defence, I think, was Cresswell. The rest of our defenders were good. Cresswell was the weak point.
I like Cresswell as well.
Yeah, he's not been good for like the last 2 years though. He's been a bit off.
Just remember the free kick he scored last year.
Yeah, that's about it. Our holding midfielders, I felt sorry for him. I don't know why we played a three holding mids with Flynn Downs as the 10. Because he's a defensive mid. He's a holding centre mid. He's not a number 10. He's too slow for that position. If we're going to play a number 10 there, Fornals Lanzini would get in there for me right now.
Yeah.
Instead, Rice above the rest. Souček, I'd rather play Paqueta there, or maybe put Downs back there, and when Paqueta's back fit, put Paqueta up forward a bit more. Then Rama sent Casemiro back to Spain. We had a bit of trickery. That spun him inside out. Benrahma was making stuff happen. Benrahma had all that space to work with.
He has good games and bad games in, doesn't he? He's never in between.
Scamacca had a really bad game, though, to me. Scamacca was just isolated. And then when we're needing a goal, Moyes takes off bleeding Scamacca for Antonio. Why don't play them together? You know, I do question Moyes sometimes because I don't get what goes in his head to make those decisions.
No, I love it. Oh, here's a question for you from a Newcastle fan. What have you made of Paqueta so far?
He's excellent. He makes our midfield a lot more high tempo.
I like Paqueta. He's got him, but these things happen. One more comment just came in there, Mogul. I don't have a wife. Brilliant. What a way to end the show. De Gea was immense for Man United against West Ham. Those saves towards the end. Wow. Yeah, this is why Dubravka's sitting on the bench. He's going to get nowhere near that team. So it still seems a bit weird why he went there. Oh, I missed this one. Mogul Warlass was out on the piss the other day. Came back with a traffic cone. It wasn't on her head either, the dirty cow. Oh my God.
I just read that in a Geordie accent. Seriously.
Yeah, it's the only way to read it. Put your own toys away then. Oh man. You don't see Shearer walk off down the tunnel and spit his fucking dummy out. Have a good retirement, Ronaldo. I love it. Well, yeah, it happened a few weeks ago, didn't it? So who was making the cakes then? Definitely not me. My baking days are over after I tried to make my son's cake for a 2-year-old and it tasted absolutely disgusting. So I'm not going to do it again. I make good pancakes though. But that's the end of the show. Thank you so much for joining us, Mike. Thanks for coming in and doing your stuff. Right. Martin as well from the car park. I hope your dad gets a lot better, mate. And I hope things.
No worries. Cheers, Mike.
Appreciate you coming on. James, you as well, and obviously PDP as well. Next Tuesday, be PDP show. I think I might be on night shift for that one, unfortunately. But PDP will take the reins. Hopefully all the boys will be available and wrap up what will be the second last week before the World Cup breaks, because we've only got 2 more of these to do, so it's going to be interesting. But don't forget PDP's channel, don't forget James's channel, all good stuff. Mike needs a channel, but he can't be asked to do it, to be fair. I think his wife would divorce him.
You saw how bad my internet is. Can you imagine how frustrating the channel would be?
That is true. You need to get on some new internet, pal. You really do. But you want to Brighton, so I'll let you off. If you've enjoyed the show, hit that subscribe button, the usual stuff. Hit the thumbs up button, and enjoy your week, guys. I hope we've made your Tuesday a little bit more brighter. I don't even know what day we're on anymore. Yeah. And I will see you on Thursday for the look ahead. Hopefully, I'll have Joel on. I hope he's been watching because I need to get in touch with him. But take care till then, guys. See you later.
See you.